What's going on, guys? Welcome to day 2 of the Cyber Advent 2024 of TryHackMe. Cyber Sensei Aaron here. I'm going to be walking you through this task, and it's pretty straightforward. We're going to be doing some Elastic SIEM utilization and a log analysis, analyzing logs to figure out if this alert that we encountered was a true positive or false positive. So let's hop right into that. Pretty much what happened here is the SOC encountered an event that looks really suspicious. So our job is to come in, help skiddy investigate the event, see if it's true positive or false positive, and then take it from there. You can see here we're going to be doing the VM. Got to start it up because that's going to host the Elastic SIEM instance, and we have direct link available. So if you aren't familiar, start the machine here, and you start up your attack box from up here. I already have my attack box open. And also, guys, I wanted to point out TryHackMe has like a little AI bot here, and it's really good because if you don't know something or you want to learn a little bit more, like let's just say, what is Elastic SIEM? You just ask that question. He's gonna come out with a response here. So Elastic SIEM is a security information and event management solution that enables organizations to analyze and visualize security data in real time. It helps in detecting threats, investigating incidents, and understanding security posture through powerful analytics and dashboards. So just be mindful of that, right? Because if you don't know what something is, or you want to learn a little bit more about something, you can always go to the AI bot. Obviously, Google, ChatGPT, any of those things will work. I'm pretty sure the link is up, so let's copy that. And this is how we're going to log into the actual SIEM client. So let's go ahead and put this in our clipboard. Then over here we're going to paste and go. It's loading up, and we can see here the username and password is elastic, extremely secure. Boom, and we're in. Alright, so we're going to click the Discover tab, and then we can see here the mayor's office sent us this alert and saying the activity occurred on between December 1st at 0900 and 0930, or 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. We want to get the time frame set up in the SIEM so that we can start investigating stuff from there. So yeah, last 15 minutes, we got to change that. So we'll do absolute the 1st of December. Go over here. 0900. So update. Alright, let's see. Alright, boom. We got 21 events here. You can see it's pretty messy, huh? A little hard to read, right? So what we can do here is actually pick the fields we want to be able to zoom in on, right? Because all these fields here, yes, to provide information, yes, it could all be helpful, but a lot of them are going to be just extra noise that we don't need to be looking at and sifting through, increasing the time that it takes us to solve whether or not this is a true positive or false positive. So what we're going to do here is narrow down the amount of things we see on the screen. So you can see here we're going to be focusing on the host name, the username, the event category, process command line, and the event outcome. So let's go ahead and select those. So host.hostname, we're going to add that. We're going to do username. We're going to do event category, and then we got command line and event outcome. So event outcome and then command line. Boom. A lot easier to read now. So here we go. We got the time, we got the host name that it was executed on, we got the username that executed this command or process, and then you can see here we kind of have two different ones based off the category. Right? We have an authentication event and we have a process event. It looks like a command line PowerShell command was run for these, and then an admin account was used to do all this stuff. And it looks like the authentication took place before running the PowerShell script, and it happened across multiple hosts. You can see here warhost 7, and then up here we got warhost 8. So that's pretty interesting, right? We want to understand a little bit more about maybe who was authenticating, and then take a deeper dive, that's difficult to say, into what this command's actually doing and if it is malicious or not, because that's going to all determine whether or not we escalate this to skiddy or not. So yeah, basically what I told you here, we see there is a PowerShell command being run and an authentication event. So now what we're going to do is add the source IP, right? Because we wanted to see who's doing the authentication. So let's go ahead and add that in here. Boom. So now you can see we got source IP here. So to 10.0.11.11 doing the authentication here. And we want to clear this up a bit, right? We want to focus on the authentication alerts here a little bit more. And we're going to put PowerShell on the back burner because we want to find out who is, accessing these machines. So you can see here, they give you a quick way to add a filter. So what we want to do is click the minus on these right here. So you can see there's a minus or plus here. We'll click the minus. I think it's frozen. Alright, so what we want to do now is we want to focus a little bit more on the authentication events, right? So if you wanted to clear up the screen a little bit, we can hit the minus here on event category, and then it would just show us the authentications to focus a little bit more on that, right? So getting back to where we were at here, sorry, the VM froze and I had to basically turn off the VM, turn it back on, and get to exactly where we left off. So what we're gonna do here is, so yeah, we're right here, we're seeing just authentications, but it doesn't really give us that good of information, so we need to dive a little bit deeper into that, right? So here it says, let's see if we have any events from the user from the 29th of November to the 1st of December. So let's go ahead and update the timeline here. So we're going to click that, and then we're going to go 29th onwards. We have about 5,900 hits when we actually have a spike here on the 1st, right? So that's an interesting one. We want to understand why there's a spike here, because you can see it's out of the average, right? Like normally we're getting around 300 to maybe 330, 350 a day, and here we have 1,300, right? So it's pretty interesting. We want to dive a little bit more into that. So what we're going to do here is essentially put some more filters in, right? Because we want to see exactly the events that we're looking at here. So it looks like we're going to be putting username, service admin and source IP to narrow our search. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, boom. So we've got it. All I did was come over here. You see the plus and minus. You hit the plus on source IP and then plus on the username, and it's going to add those to the filter. So we're looking specifically for those values, and then it'll highlight it here. And you can see we dropped down now to 4,810 hits. And we can see that this is pretty common. And it looks like December 1st we had some logins for those. So let's continue on. So it looks like all these events have been coming from the same user and same IP address. We definitely need to investigate further. This also does not explain the spike. Let's filter for authentication events by first using the plus button beside it. We're already doing that. And let's filter out the source IP to see if we can find a different IP address. Alright, so as you can see, we have 4,000 events. And it's going to be, time consuming to go through all of them to see if there's a different IP, right? So an easy way we can do this is just eliminate this IP altogether. So we'll hit the minus on that. And we got another one. Right, so there's a different IP, and we have 1,100 hits for that IP. So 10.0.2551 has 11 hits. So let's just see if we have another one. Alright, so yeah, we only have these two IPs here for those 4,800 something events. But we're more interested in this one, because this is new. You can see actually we have a different host name here as well, and we have some failures. So that's actually, a little interesting, because the other one was all successes. But here we're having some failures, and we're having some different host names being accessed. So that's pretty interesting. So let's see how far this goes. So now what we want to do here is apply some filters. Yeah, we did that. So we see many events for failed login. We also see a different IP address. And they were coming in the previous days. The analyst investigated and found that a script with expired credentials was causing this issue. Okay, so however that script was updated with a fresh set of credentials. Anyhow, this might just be another script. Let's find out. So let's remove the source IP filter so we can focus on authentication events close to the spike. After applying the new filter, we see that failed login stopped a little while after the successful login from the new IP. So we have just service admin and authentication selected. So let's go ahead and see that for ourselves. And we'll do that and do that. Boom. So we got successes here and then failures. Yeah, so we got a whole bunch of failures, and then boom, we have some successes. So let's keep going. Let's dive deeper. So it seems someone tried a brute force attack on December 1st, as shown by the filters applied above. So anytime you see an absurd amount of logins and their failures, and then there's successes afterwards, that could mean that there is a brute force attack occurring, right? So what you got to do is, obviously, if you're in a real SOC environment, you would want to verify with the users who use this account and be like, hey, have you noticed this happening? Is there a script going, like, trying to access something, and the things are expired? And you can see here, up here, they said that there was a script with expired credentials causing the issue, and then it was updated, right? So we would want to verify, like, hey, did you guys update the script? What was going on here? And then if they can't verify that, then we want to investigate it further, because that could mean that someone's brute forcing. So let's continue on. So right now, this is looking like a true positive, which I would agree with. And we need to escalate to skiddy to do a deeper dive on the PowerShell scripts that were ran to see if there are anything malicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the process event category back in here, and we'll do that. And we're back. So you can see the PowerShell again. So cool. All right, we can see everything. Okay, look, they want us to focus directly on the process, so we'll add that to the filter. And then we see that this is the script being ran. So typically when PowerShell scripts are ran and they're caught by Windows events and SIEMs and alerting tools, most of the time they're going to be encoded like this. So in order to see what is actually being ran, we need to decode it. And skiddy, being the SOC lead that she is, understands that this is the nature of PowerShell commands. So she's going to be using the tool CyberChef. And this is a really cool tool. It's mostly used for cryptology, and it has a lot of encoding and decoding and encryption and decrypting capabilities with a bunch of different stuff in there as well. And we're going to be able to hop into that now just so we can decode this. So I believe we have CyberChef on our system here. Let's see. If anything, we could also just Google CyberChef, because they do have one that runs on the web. However, if we were investigating this in our SOC, we would want to use a local instance so that we're not putting sensitive information out into the internet, right? Because that's a no-no. Operational security, remember, day one, we need to make sure that everything that we're investigating and all our sensitive information is kept secure, obviously. So here is the input. We're gonna, I believe I copied it. No, I didn't. All right. So we're gonna go copy that command. And boom, close the clipboard, paste, boom. All right. So we know it's base 64, so we're gonna do a from, and then we need to do decode text, and we need to find the right encoding that PowerShell uses. And so PowerShell uses UTF-16LE 1200 for their base 64 encoding. So what we do is we come here and we get this one, and it should work. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So when you're doing this, make sure you only put the base 64 part in, or yeah, that output's gonna be a little weird. So we can see here, install Windows Update, accept all auto reboots. So essentially what this script is a Windows Update script. We're accepting all because when you run the script, it's gonna ask you certain things. Okay, do you want to update this? Do you want to install that? Do you want to do this and that? So what this does is essentially put yes to all those, and then auto reboot is going to restart the machine as soon as the update is downloaded and installed. So pretty interesting. Doesn't seem malicious at the moment, but let's see what skiddy has to say. So the result provided a sigh of relief to skiddy, who had feared that the Christmas had been ruined. Someone had come in to help skiddy, and the team secure the defenses. But who? So skiddy further analyzed the secret hero and came to a startling revelation. The credentials for the script and the machine that ran the Windows updates were outdated. Someone brute forced the systems and fixed the credentials after successfully logging in. This was evident from the fact that each executed PowerShell command was preceded by a successful login from the same source IP, causing failed logins over the past few days. And what's even more startling, it was Glitch who accessed ADM01 and fixed the credentials after McSkiddy confirmed who owned the IP address. So it looks like Glitch owns the 10.02551 IP address we saw that had a bunch of failures and then successes. So that's pretty interesting. This meant that the people of Warville had misunderstood Glitch. So now McSkiddy is thinking that Glitch is actually a good guy. But, you know, we gotta trust but verify, guys. Because if his name was on a malicious PowerShell script in the last task, and now he's hacking into by brute forcing these machines and then running a Windows update script, I don't know. Does not seem like a good guy would do this, but we shall see as the days unfold. But if Glitch was the one helping the defenses, who was trying to sabotage it? Was it the mayor who informed the SOC about these suspicious PowerShell commands? Just like alerts aren't always what they seem in the SOC, so was the case here at Warville with people. As hard as it was to differentiate between a true positive and a false positive, so was the case with the mayor and Glitch. However, McSkiddy can perhaps use the evidence-based deduction skills learned in a SOC to make the difference easier for the people of Warville. So, to recap, we essentially went through these logs. We found there was a spike in login attempts and actual successful logins on December 1st. We saw that about 1,100, 1,200 of them were failed logins, and then we had successful logins after that. After each successful login, we had a PowerShell script run. We found out the PowerShell script was a Windows update script, and now McSkiddy is conflicted because we figured out and verified that the person who did all this was Glitch. And as we saw in the last task, Glitch made a malicious PowerShell script that stole your crypto wallets and stole your cache browser credentials. So right now we're trying to decide whether Glitch is a good guy or a bad guy, because he's doing some weird stuff, right? Like right now he's kind of in a gray area. He created some malware, and then now he's brute forcing into these computers and then updating the Windows. So we'll just have to keep going to see how this turns out. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Again, feedback's always welcome. I'm always looking to improve, always make these videos better for you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.